I heard you once say that people are supposed to live 90 to 120 years old. Please explain why you believe that.
So I think they say genetically we're designed to live 90 to 120 years old. However, if you don't have a plan for the 5 major causes of weakness in the body, meaning your body, you start off healthy, right? And then different things are going to happen to your body that are going to create weakness in your body. If you don't have a plan to counteract these things, you're never going to make it there. So the 5 things that you have to have a plan for, number 1 is chiropractic. We know, and I could prove without a shadow of a doubt, that if your spine is unhealthy, your body's going to be weak. We talked about what we need to do to really make sure we have a healthy spine, between x-rays, nerve scans, things like this. The second is nutrition. We know that the wrong foods can cause problems. And you and I were speaking earlier about how there's great profit in creating foods that are just crap foods. High salt, high sugar content foods, high fat content. So nutrition is a really big piece of the puzzle. Exercise. Tibetan monks that live a long time, they do these, it's called this 5 rights, I think they are. And a lot of what their stretches are these flexion extension exercises that really enhance the flexibility of the spine. So we know that exercise is a big piece. It's often called the fountain of youth. And then, of course, the next one is spiritual health. People who are spiritually weak or spiritually challenged, they're going to have a hard time handling the challenges of life. And the last one is mental strength, having good mental strength. And of course, what's always going to happen is life is going to throw things at you that are going to create stress. And the healthier you are, the better you're able to balance your life with the stress that comes at you. So really what being healthy is adaptation. The better you adapt to life, the healthier you are. And that's where you need a plan for those 5 things. And if you look at patients I even have in my office that are 90 years old and very vibrant and healthy, they have a plan for each one of those 5 things almost innately. They have a nutrition thing going, they have a chiropractic thing going, they have something to stay strong spiritually, mentally, and physically, with exercise, nutrition, and things like chiropractic.
Do you believe chiropractors on social media has helped or hurt the world's view of chiropractors?
So it's kind of a 2-pronged answer. I mean, a lot of people get to see people going to chiropractors and getting relief. So I think it opens up people's mind to another option. There are certainly chiropractors on social media that I believe do it well. They use precision, they use proper analysis. But I also think that there are chiropractors on social media that, let's face it, chiropractic of 1918 was very crude and rudimentary. A lot of the twisting and cracking, no x-rays, no real analysis. And that's what we call the old school chiropractic. We have evolved tremendously since then. So, that's where I think it doesn't help chiropractic, is when you see a lot of these really gross manipulative moves where they're cracking and twisting and pulling and they're not really doing any real analysis. I question the effectiveness. So chiropractic has to evolve to where we are today, which is we have some amazing technology that really helps us to do things much, much better, much, much more precise. I would say in a week, out of 10 patients, 6 of the patients that call my office out of 10 have been to chiropractors and did not get help. So it's like they tried it, but it didn't work. And the reason why is they were going to chiropractors that were just old school, doing it the old method, that has very low effectiveness. So
they're just cracking random parts and they don't know what's actually going on.
Yeah, I mean, we call it popping and praying. That's the phrase. We call it the flying 7. They just hit everything. And we always say it's like going to a dentist and they drill every tooth, helping to get the one that's the cavity. Versus you go to nobody would do that. You go to the doctor, he says, oh, you have a problem. Let's give you 6 medications. Maybe one will work. No. Chiropractic has to be specific. It's either specific or it's nothing. So what I would tell you to look for in a chiropractor is someone who's going to be precise. And that's where you can get more precise results. The more precise the care, the more precise the results.
And can you please share some of the tools that you use to make sure you really have a clear understanding of where the issue is?
So listen, anytime, like for example, if you go to a medical doctor and you have a bad pancreas, right? Or a bad, what do they call that? Gallbladder, all right? They can go in there, identify the bad gallbladder, remove it, and in a week they'll say, oh, you'll feel a little better. In 6 months, you'll never even know it was there. Before and after. You know, you go to a dentist, you have a cavity, they identify the cavity, they fill it, and then they show you they filled it, and in a few weeks, the problem's long forgotten. All right, so in chiropractic, if they can't show you the problem, and I'm not saying going by feel, I mean you have to see it, and then show you that it's corrected. They didn't correct anything, in my opinion. So we use a lot of technology that's what we call objective. So what does this mean? This means if I hold up 2 fingers, whether I'm in Italy or in Japan or in India or in America, we can all agree that I'm holding up 2 fingers. That's what we call science. So what I do is a special nerve test. And if I show you your nerve scan, we will all agree where the problem is in your nerve scan. So that if I'm working on your scan, if I'm working on your spine, we can all see the nerve scan improving. That's called an objective analysis. So it's very important that we do nerve scan testing. The whole reason you go to a chiropractor is to have your nervous system checked. The second test we would use would be an x-ray. Of course, you can try to feel what you think is wrong with the spine, but with an x-ray, you can actually see it. And the next tool we use is called a moving x-ray. It's called dynamic digital x-ray, DDR. And with this, you know, most chiropractors go in here and they try to feel what bone is out of place. What most people don't know is if I go by feel, it's 20, maybe 30% accurate. So with the dynamic x-ray, we actually see the spine in motion. And like the dynamic x-ray you and I were looking at earlier, we could all agree exactly where the lock is so that the treatment is very precise. So once we go ahead with that kind of precision, then the last thing we would do is go back and re-x-ray the spine and we could see the correction. Again, if you can see the correction in the spine, then it's corrected. The man that taught me this work was named Dr. Pierce. And Dr. Pierce said, if you're not correcting spines, you're useless as a chiropractor. Meaning, what are you doing? If you can't objectively measure that you're actually changing the spine, then you're not doing anything. And not all chiropractors think this way. Not all would agree with what I'm saying. And that's okay, but that's the way I believe care should be. It should be objective, it should be precise, and we should be able to see the outcome.